Hi guys, and welcome to episode 3 of Gym in Japan. I am in a place called Machida today for work. A place that I wasn't actually familiar with beforehand. I've never heard of Machida when I think of places in Japan. So getting off the train in Machida is kind of like any other city, really. The train station, especially around the train station, there's like loads of shops and restaurants, and it's very, very crowded and busy. So I've just sort of walked to a little bit of a quiet place on my dinner break, and I'm going to get in today's vlog. I'm going to give you some updates, and we're going to take a little bit of a stroll around the sort of quiet areas of Machida. Okay guys, welcome to episode 3 of Gym in Japan. It's been a week and a half again since the previous vlog where you saw footage of me walking around Shibuya. Like I say, we're in Machida. We're going to take a little walk on my dinner break. We're going to maybe go for a stroll over in that direction. Looks quite interesting. Down by the railway tracks. See if we can spot a train. So, been working for a week and a half now. Obviously, my job is one-to-one teaching. So, not so much teaching kids in a school, for example. This is very much an office-based environment. Teaching people that actually want to learn. So, the paying, obviously all lessons are paid for, but the paying specifically to learn English. So, some circumstances it can be quite professional, sort of like a business type of language when you're talking to, there's a train. Nice. That cute train. That's 2 actually. Looks quite empty, those trains do, which is unusual for Japan. So yeah, you're talking a lot of like business language with people. There's some people that are just learning English for the first time, so I had a couple of clients that were quite fresh and talking more simple based words and expressions. Perhaps they don't know how to formulate like full sentences, and they're just looking at pictures and stuff like that. So you do get clients like that. But actually, for the most part, it seems quite business heavy. So people that are wanting to maybe work overseas, or they're working for international companies, or dealing with like English speaking maybe call centres, or deferring to English speaking managers or business partners and stuff like that. So yeah, a lot of like business language involved. So in a way it's a little bit of a struggle for me too, because obviously I'm not that clued up on business, the topic of business. So there's the odd 1 or 2 words that like throw you off a little bit when, for example, the word lawsuit comes up and you're trying to define the word lawsuit to someone that isn't familiar with some of the terms that you're trying to define it with. So you sort of have to come from outside the box a little bit, think outside the box, and maybe come up with something that might be a little bit more familiar to them. So for example, I suppose you could talk about Nintendo is one of the bits of advice I had regarding defining this word. So I was told, you could come at it from the angle that, you make a video game where every character looks like a Pokemon character, but you call it something else like James Monsters, but all the characters look like Pokemon. You're probably going to get a lawsuit And I think that's kind of already happened, right, with that Polyworld or whatever it was called, Polworld. I know they're trying to fight Nintendo, I think, because the not quite carbon copies, I guess, of the Pokemon characters, even though you can kind of tell who they're meant to look like. So I'm not sure if that's going to buy its way out of court. I'm not sure. Maybe it will. Maybe it already has. I've not been following that story. But I know that was like a bit of a controversy. So yeah, you get stuff like that, business clients, etc. Dealing with quite tricky words, actually. And not a great deal of time to prepare in some cases, and the material is adequate, I guess, but obviously sometimes you can be reading an exercise that you're unfamiliar with because you're seeing it for the first time yourself, and it doesn't quite make sense of what you're meant to do, so you've got to sort of have a bit of a fast thinking about yourself to try and get through the lesson. And still provide a fulfilling lesson for the client, which I feel like I am doing so far. I mean, I've taught probably over 30 lessons now, and starting to get in the groove a little bit, actually. I'm finding that the lessons actually go really, really quickly, which I suppose is a good sign. So might start out with a little bit of casual conversation and then develop into the textbook stuff, and yeah, it just seems to fly by, which is good, really. You want your job to fly by. Like this morning I've had 3 lessons, and yeah, I can't believe actually about 3.5 hours has gone already. So I suppose that's a good sign. I think I'm enjoying it, actually. Like I was looking forward to it, and now actually doing it, I was nervous at first, which of course you're going to be on with the first time you do a job, and yeah, it seems to be going well so far. So fingers crossed, I'm doing a good job. I'm getting repeat bookings, which is good as well. I've seen a couple of people multiple times already after like only a week and a half. Like they specifically selected me to teach them, so happy about that. And yeah, let's see how it transpires. If that's the right word. Hopefully I don't have to define that word, because I might have just come up with that on the spot. But yeah, we'll see. And just let that guy get past. And yeah, so already over a week and a half, and going quite well. I've just had a little bit of a sandwich for dinner. So sometimes you can have too much Japanese food. We've been having a lot of like curries. Absolutely love Japanese curry. So we've been eating, even having them at home. So there's like koko ichibanyas, which is a favourite of ours, I've already mentioned. And yeah, you can just go into like a convenience store, pick up like a quick packet of curry, mix it with some rice, maybe some meat or something, and it's absolutely delicious. So one of our favourites. But like I say, we're from England, so we're not used to eating like Japanese food every single meal. So we're probably having maybe too many takeaway type things, to be honest. I'm sure we'll grow out of them, but like, you've always got your McDonald's, Burger King, etc. handy. And yeah, I just fancied something maybe a bit softer this morning. So I've had just a sandwich from a Family Mart. So they do like various types of sandwiches, and they tend to actually cut the crusts off, which is I suppose another convenience of Japan. Because I don't know, does anyone really like crusts on bread? Just sort of eat them anyway, don't you? Because you can. But yeah, this was very much crustless. And they do sell loaves of bread, actually. They don't seem quite as common as like walking into a Tesco and you've got like a whole aisle dedicated to bread, and they're all like, large loaves. These are all like small loaves with either 6 or 8 slices of bread, So obviously I don't think they tend to eat it too much over here. Not like we do, where it's like a sandwich for every meal. But yeah, I did fancy a sandwich this morning, so I had ham, cheese, tuna sweet corn, tuna cucumber, sorry, and just get past these, and yeah, it was all sort of combined into like a three-way, like a trifecta, as it were, in the sandwich department. So yeah, I don't know why I decided to tell you that little story about eating a sandwich, but there you go, enjoy. Mosquitoes is something else I wanted to talk about. So we're still getting attacked by mosquitoes, so it's actually quite cold today. To be fair, if this was England, I'd still probably be wearing shorts. So, you know, it's cold for Japan, but for England actually it's still nice weather. It's probably like, I'd say maybe like 12 degrees today potentially. We'll go this way, I think. And the sun's out now, got kind of a blue sky going on. Yeah, it's decent. And I've already had a client this morning telling me how cold it was today, and I was like, yeah, it was a little bit chilly actually outside, but I think he even mentioned about winter, Japanese winter, and you know, obviously in England we get minus, which shocked him a little bit, so hopefully the winter won't be as bad over here. Yamamoto's found it. Guess I'll go tell that lady. I haven't been asked by a lady. That's a Shenmue joke, in case you're confused. Not even a joke, really. Maybe some of you found that funny, finding the Yamamotos. So yeah, let's move swiftly into the next conversation. So, days off now. So Wednesday, just gone. Well, I've got Wednesdays and Thursdays off, so if any of you are ever visiting Japan and you want to meet up, probably Wednesdays and Thursdays, currently anyway, would be a good day. I'd say hi, definitely, come meet you. Unless you're like a serial killer, please don't contact me then. Or one of my enemies, perhaps. You know who you are. So Wednesday we actually, okay, so let me go back a little bit. I'll roll back a little bit the clock. So Wednesday morning was the 4th in England still at night, and I was meant to be streaming for Shenmue Day with Matt. Unfortunately, it's nice down there, nice little houses, could walk down there in a moment. Bit of an urban exploration day here, whilst I'm in my suit and tie. And it looks a bit funny actually because the camera thing's going over my tie. So whilst I thought it was a bit discreet, I think maybe I stand out still. And obviously being a foreigner, you stand out regardless. So anyway, I was supposed to be streaming with Matt, and yeah, so I thought I had everything correct with my PC. I like to leave things till the last minute anyway. And I had the internet installed, so the home internet was installed on the 4th. So this is Tuesday daytime now. So that all went good. Everything's connected via Wi-Fi quite easily after a little bit of tinkering with the router. Thank you for Switch with the help for that as well, actually. You did help me figure a few things out. And yeah, then came to the evening. After working, I tried to set up my computer and I got stuck on an installation screen on Windows without realising that you actually needed to connect to the internet via a LAN cable first. So that sort of poo-pooed been able to stream on my new PC. So I got the MacBook out, connected that via Wi-Fi, and I was going to stream via the MacBook, like I, probably would do anyway as a backup option. Unfortunately, and this sounds a bit crazy now, maybe like almost excuse levels, but I promise it's true. We bought these power adapters from Don Quixote. Like, you plug them in, there's like a USB-C port, a couple of USB, whatever, regular USBs, and it's like a wall plug, so you plug stuff into it. So I've bought one that's physically said PC on the packaging, so it's like a certain voltage, like 100 to 240 voltage or something. So I thought, okay, that's okay, that should power my MacBook, but obviously my MacBook's UK, so maybe it needs a little bit more voltage, I'm not sure. I never really truly understand all this electric stuff. So, oh, look at this nice view. I'm going to be sweating by the time I get home though. Well, back to work, I've got to go back to work in a bit. I never truly fully understand all these electrics and what's going on with voltages when you're in different countries, step down converters, step up converters and all that sort of stuff. So maybe it's because of that, but the actual plug was getting scarily hot. So I asked ChatGPT, I was like, I've got this wall plug, I'm not sure it's supposed to be getting this hot, but like I can barely touch it. It was that hot. Like I went to pull it out the wall and it actually like almost burnt my fingers. It was that hot. So I said this to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT said, stop using it immediately because it could cause a fire. So I was a bit scared then, and my MacBook was dead. So, got train numero tres, potentially, or fourth train. Let's just let this go past. Slightly different trains than I've noticed. I don't know if that's a JR train, or was that the company, Odakyu or something, potentially, not sure. Lovely round here actually. A very Shenmue-esque feeling. So anyway, the plug was really hot, so I had a flat Mac, couldn't connect to the internet through my PC without like a Wi-Fi dongle or a LAN cable, and in fact I'm told you need to have a LAN cable originally to set it up, get past the screen. So anyway, moving into Wednesday, fortunately couldn't do the stream. Wednesday I woke up and my phone was broken, so I seem to have so many issues with tech. It's actually like insane. Like my wife always jokes like, we'll buy a TV and I'll have to take it back because it's got like a dead pixel. That's happened to me like 2 or 3 times, like honestly, no joke. And we just seem to have real bad luck with appliances. So I actually bought 2 PC monitors, and even though the Amazon listing said they were 27 inch, they arrived and they were 24 inch or 23 point something inches, and I was like, what? I paid like what I felt was a price for a 27 inch monitor, 2 of them as well, and they're not right. So then we found out that the English translation version of Amazon.jp must add their own details rather than it just translating a 27 to a 27. This had probably been manually edited. So it was meant to be a 23 point whatever screen, and for some reason it had been manually edited to a 27 inch. So it was Amazon's fault, so I had to return both those monitors. So that was a bit of a ball ache. Where was I going with that? So I've had all this bad luck with my phone. So my phone I've only had for like 18 months. It was an iPhone 15 Pro Max, and if anyone knows me and seen me talk about my phone before, just before we came to Japan last year, 2024, in April, I went to London to see the Michael Jackson musical, which was amazing, by the way, but the memory of it was always tainted by the fact that some dude stole my phone straight on my hand. I was just like looking at my Google Maps for the train station and just like was gone, like instantly. I could see him on a little electric e-bike thing, sodding off down the road. And we couldn't do anything about it. The police were a bit useless. Contacted the police, turned off all my payment cards and whatever, because obviously all your bank cards are linked to your phone these days. And yeah, it was a bit of a nightmare. Luckily I was with my wife. She was able to instantly turn on that my iPhone was lost. So in theory, it should basically brick the phone, and it seems like that's the case, because we started getting these like death threat texts saying like, I've just bought this phone from the market or something, and you need to turn off turn off that you've lost the phone because it's not working, and this sort of stuff, and if you don't, I'll murder your family or something stupid. And I just said that right by an old man. There was an old man in the garden, literally stood next to me in his garden, and I just said, we're going to murder your family. God, I'm going to get deported. So that was that situation last year. So I ended up buying a brand new iPhone 15 Pro Max, and yeah, it's only lasted 18 months. I have no idea what's happened. Again, is it a voltage thing? Was it because I was plugging it into a Japanese wall plug? Surely not, because if you chat GBT or Google these things, it says Apple cables and plugs and that sort of stuff are universal. So there's no risks. But I don't know, it's just random. Been in Japan for like a month and my phone just suddenly died just overnight. Like, I was using it at 4 a.m. to text Matt to say that, I'm sorry mate, I can't stream because this plug's burnt my fingers. And then when I woke up a few hours later, the phone wouldn't turn on. I tried the reset thing, I tried pressing both of these buttons and the power thing like you're supposed to do on a newer iPhone model. Nothing happened. I tried plugging it into my Mac, see if it got detected. It didn't. It was fully charged at 4 a.m, so I've got absolutely no idea what happened to it. So I took it to a tech store. So we booked an Apple technician appointment in Tokyo, because that was like the closest one that was available on the day. And going up a bit of a hill, sorry guys if I get a little bit out of puff. I'm also trying to touch the mic because I'm a little bit scared it might fall off without me realising. So we booked this tech appointment. I attended it, translated whatever I needed to say to the guy about the broken device, and he took it in the back for 5 minutes, came back out, and he said it would cost like 84,000 yen to 126,000 yen, depending on if he could repair it or I'd have to get a replacement. So I was thinking like, well, if I'm spending like 120,000 yen on a replacement iPhone 15 Pro Max, how much more is like the latest model? Because I know that the iPhone 17 Pro Max has just come out. So I said I'm going to have to leave it because that's a lot of money. And he was saying it would take a week, so I'd be without a phone for a week as well. So we actually went to an Apple store and just made an impulse purchase, because obviously you need a phone these days. I just thought, well, for like 200 and something thousand yen, I can get a brand new iPhone 17 Pro Max. And then what we're going to do is, I've spoke to my dad, and because this bloke was telling me that the Apple products only come with 1 year warranty or something. But my dad looked into it, and I don't know if this is just in the UK or just the phone that he bought off of Amazon, this 15 Pro Max, said that it was under warranty for 2 years. So the solution, as I try and get out of breath talking and walking, is that when we go back to England after Christmas, I'm going to take the phone back with me, and then we're going to get it repaired in England, and then that's going to be my dad's phone. So in a way, not ideal, but I've got the latest iPhone that I'm using here. A nice orange case. And yeah, so literally as we were, got my notes as we're walking around, and my dad gets sort of a free upgrade, even though technically he paid for the phone, because you know, he felt really bad for me when it got nicked out of my hand. He was there as well, so it was my wife and my dad. We went to see the Michael Jackson musical, which I would recommend, by the way, and also check out the Michael movie trailer that's coming out next April. Looks fantastic. Definitely go out and support that, guys. If you're a Michael Jackson fan, I know some people still have their own sort of personal feelings about him, but if you actually look into the evidence and whatnot, favours Michael, in my opinion. Anyway, not to go into that topic mid-vlog, but essentially that's what, I can take some of these off actually. So phone died, Apple technician, Apple store. Did I mention mosquitoes? Yeah, still getting bitten by mosquitoes. In fact, just eating that sandwich on a park bench, bloody bit me through my sock, which was a bit random. Like, I'm fully, you can't see, but I'm fully dressed. There's only really my hands, potentially my neck. Just notice that this is a dead end. Potentially my neck and my face, and it bloody bit me through my sock, which I can feel. Oh well. Anyway, Bic camera. So let me think about that then. So what were we doing there? So went to get a phone case. This phone case. Screen protector. Bic camera's insane, by the way. If you've never been to a Bic camera, it was like literally 10 floors of phones, electronics, TVs. They had like this insane TV. I wish I could take a photo, but at the time I didn't have a phone to take one photo of. Just absolute insane. These Japanese sort of skyscrapers are mental. You've got 26 floors, for example. Like 2 floors will be dedicated to restaurants. The basement's usually dedicated to restaurants. Shops. It's just insane. Like, we're just surprised sometimes. We'll just be walking into a building and accidentally go up a floor or down a floor, and you're suddenly in like a Tower Records, or you're suddenly in a big Disney store, or the whole floor's for like kids, or the whole floor's like shoes, or the whole floor's like electronics. And it happens so often. It's like crazy. Obviously in the big cities like Yokohama, it's probably more likely to occur. You get these big skyscrapers full of restaurants and shops, etc. But yeah, it's fantastic. So Bic camera, put that on your list of things to see and do when you're next in Japan. Okay, so that was it as well. At the back of my mind, I was thinking, okay, I'll go in an electronics store as well to get the Wi-Fi dongle that I needed to connect my PC to the internet, and potentially a LAN cable now that I need to get that. Completely forgot about it with the mobile phone drama. So we ended up doing that on Thursday. But just to round off the Wednesday, what else did we do? We went to Tokyo Tower, Tokyo Tower. Amazing song, by the way. If you've not heard that, I'll link it in the YouTube description and listen to that song. It's so addictive. He's got this sort of like, what's his name, Phil, with the drums. What's his name? Phil something. He goes dum 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 dum, and there's like the gorilla thing. You know what I mean, don't you? That advert with the drums and the gorilla. Phil Collins. Phil Collins? Doesn't quite sound right, but I think we'll go with that. Phil Collins with the drum song, and it's got that kind of vibe about it, the song. But anyway, that's beside the point. We were actually in Tokyo Tower. I've never actually been in before. Obviously seen it from a previous trip to Japan when we went to Tokyo, and just insane. Like, I've seen YouTubers, I think Chris Broad said once, like, don't bother with Tokyo Tower, go to like the Mori building or something, because when you're taking photos outside of all the skyscrapers in Tokyo, you'd kind of want Tokyo Tower to be in the photo, right? So it makes sense. But honestly, as an experience, I really, really enjoyed it. So there's like the base floor, the main floor, and then you can pay a little bit more and go to the top deck. And all the lifts are like dead cramped. It's insane. We had backpacks on and we were like getting crushed in the elevators to go up. They try and squeeze as many people in as possible. And just the main deck actually was probably the best part of it. So if you just want like a semi sort of Tokyo Tower experience on a smaller budget, I would really suggest the main deck, because it was really nice. They had like this projection thing going on with petals. I'll overlay some footage, and it kind of looked like it was snowing, and it's just beautiful. The overlaid footage might not look as good as normal, guys. That's because I use my wife's phone, which is like, I think a 13, regular iPhone 13. She's not quite as advanced as we are yet with the old iPhone 17 Pro Maxes, eh? Well, hey, you just have to break and get previous phones stolen to upgrade. I don't upgrade on an Apple plan. I upgrade when it gets stolen or broken. That's how I upgrade. That's Apple's next marketing advice for you there. Don't join our £60 a month scheme and you can upgrade after a year. Just get your phone stolen. Or wake up in the middle of the night and, you know, your phone doesn't work. Yeah, get the new iPhone, James. Why not? So get yourself to the main deck of Tokyo Tower, and the top floor isn't too bad. It's, like I say, a little bit more cramped, but it's nice. You get like obviously the good view. They actually give you a free drink as well up there. So only like a small little glass of like, oh my god, it's so noisy, sorry. Let's cross this road here when I can. It's turned into a bloody motorway around here. Just let these pass so I can actually cross the road. Right. Absolute chaos, a bit of a Truman Show moment there, I think. Like this insanely quiet residential area, and about 50 cars just decide to come all at once. So yeah, the top deck, great view, obviously, but perhaps a little bit too expensive for what it is. So I'd recommend the main deck at least, but great experience. Really friendly staff. There was a guy that actually, he was speaking to my daughter before we got on the lift, and then when we came back down, he's like, bye bye Penny. It was like dead nice that he remembered his name, remembered her name rather, so that was cool. Let me just double check the time here. So 1:30, I need to be back for 2:30, so we should start heading back towards Machida. We're literally just cruising straight now. It's Masugu all the way. So I've actually done quite well to be, you know, sort of get my bearings from just randomly walking and talking to be facing the correct direction. I've done quite well there. I've always had like quite a good sense of direction. Way. So that brings us into Thursday now. So we had a nice time at Tokyo Tower. Highly recommend it. Thursday, we actually decided to go to Anpanman Museum, which, if you've never heard of Anpanman, it's sort of like a kids' TV show in Japan. And been watching a little bit of it with my daughter. She recognises the character now. She's actually selected the blue, weird-looking bug creature thing. Apparently it's a germ. If we can go down these steps here, let's do that. Hopefully I don't get dirty shoes with my fancy business shoes and my business socks. Business socks. I don't know, Flight of the Conchords thing. Anpanman, yeah. So she's taken to this germ character anyway. But yeah, Anpanman Museum, not too bad. Maybe a little bit too young for Penny now, like Penny's only 5, but it felt like more of a toddler area, less so of museum level. It was mainly just hands-on stuff, just a little bit of fun really, nothing museum-y about it, like no, oh, Anpanman was created in the 80s or something like that, you know, nothing, no history, no information, just fun, lovable characters. And it was like a stage show, quite a lot of things to see, and we'll just have a quick look down here actually. Quite a lot of things to see and do, nice restaurants, nice shops. They know how to get money off people in these places. So it's not just paying for entry into tickets, like you playing, one of the activities was playing with these big inflatable rubber balls, and oh, looks like they're setting up something going on down here as well. And in the shop, they're actually selling these balls that you can inflate. So we ended up buying one of them. So that's what I mean. Like, you can't really go anywhere without buying something in Japan. Just impossible. So make sure, if you're planning a trip to Japan, you bring a lot of money with you. Otherwise you're going to be severely disappointed. So yeah, I had a nice day at Anpanman Museum. Then we went to Yodobashi, which is like, again, a massive 10-floor sort of electronics store with loads of tech, of course. And we finally got my LAN cable, finally got my Wi-Fi dongle, brought some other things as well, I think. I can't quite remember. I'm sure we did. And finally got the internet working. Well, hey! So you might have seen it the other night. We actually streamed some Shenmue. I was on stream with Matt very briefly for the 25th anniversary of the US release of Shenmue. We're going to be covering the European launch, 25th anniversary, on the 1st of December, and then obviously again the 4th of December for the Shenmue Day festivities. Hopefully I can get out of here, because it looks like it goes staircase to a dead end. So somehow I'm either going to get trapped or I'm going to have to cross the road somehow. So I'll figure that out in a moment. So I was going to talk a little bit about this thing called the Love It. I don't actually have any footage of, but my daughter absolutely loves these things called Love It's. And we were debating whether to get one for her for Christmas until we saw the price of them. And they are like, it doesn't even make sense how expensive they are. And on top of that, they also come with a monthly subscription, and it's like insane amounts of money. It's like 80 quid a month or something, just to keep your Love It active. And it's essentially just a virtual, well, not a virtual, but like a artificial intelligence pet thing. Very cool. It's got like a massive webcam looking thing on the top of its head, and it sort of feels touch. It looks at you. It makes all these weird noises. I'll try and get some footage actually next time we're in there, and if I haven't released this vlog by then, I'll overlay some footage. Otherwise you're just going to get some sort of stock photos. But yeah, that's been written off. Definitely not doing that. We also had a go on the capsule toy machine. So again, pretty much everywhere you go, there's always a bunch of capsule toy machines somewhere. And I found this awesome PlayStation 4 one, where the little capsules are miniature versions of the games, and you can actually open up inside, and they've got like a tiny little manual, although it just looks like a piece of paper stuck to the case. I don't want to try and force it out. And a tiny little disc. So quite cute. I got Uncharted 4. Might go back and try and get another at some point. Pretty cool. I suppose the final thing to talk about, although I don't know why I've left it till last, but you're probably wondering, like, random vending machines, have I seen any? That's always been talked about when you hear about quirky Japan, you know, like used underpants or whatever, vending machines. Not seen anything like that. And you know, the extent of my vending machine finds was this apple juice vending machine, which I'm sure I've seen before somewhere else, but essentially it squashes or chops up a ton of apples and makes a tiny cup of apple juice for 600 yen, so about £3, quite expensive for pure apple juice. But to be fair, we found all fruit in general in Japan is quite pricey for some reason. So like grapes are mad expensive for some reason, and the small bundles. So they must be harder to grow over here, or not as in demand, I don't know. But what fruit that you do get always tastes incredible. Like it doesn't even compare to England, so it's probably worth paying the extra money for decent fruit for once. Because the amount of times I bought like a bag of apples from, you know, Tesco or something, and in about a day they're all going like they're mangy and horrible. So it's nice to actually get some decent fruit over here despite the price. So I think that'll about do it for now for this vlog. I'll probably get some footage, some quiet footage on my way home later to end the vlog with, maybe if something else comes to mind. But so far, really appreciate you watching, really appreciate all the comments, guys. Keep coming with the comments and any questions so far. Hopefully you're enjoying the vlog series. I'm going to head back to work now, try and cool down a little bit before my next lesson. But yeah, see you soon. Right guys, so that is the end of today's vlog. I actually forgot that I didn't record my outro, so I'm going to do it now. That was Machida that you just saw, very much the residential area, although the city, like towards the station, is quite busy. I'll show you some footage, but actually, you know, you've got all your typical sort of like restaurants, businesses, quite big skyscraper type things. The station's very hectic. Just outside there is a Gigo, is it? One of those sort of arcade UFO type places. I think Sega used to own them at one point, or it used to be maybe like Sega, and then Gigo took over. Also, there happened to be some dancers the day after, so I'll show a little bit of footage of like some dancers in that vicinity. Some very nice Japanese style dancing. I assume it was Japanese dancing. Very nice, ornate, detailed outfits that everyone was wearing. Really, really cool. What I found interesting, and I've seen this in a few places, I think, but especially in Machida, the tarmac, or at least like the roads and stuff, feel very much deliberately patterned. So there's like loads of little dots all over the road, and I feel, someone might be able to tell me in the comments, but I feel it's to sort of give that cherry blossom petal effect. Obviously sakura is a massive thing in Japan, and cherry blossoms are very beloved, so the fact that the roads look to me like full of cherry blossom petals, I feel like is quite intentional, and it's quite nice actually. It's a detail that I thought about, I kept noticing everywhere, and I thought about, and I was like, I wonder if that's the reason why. So if you know, let me know in the comments below, guys. I know I mentioned my sandwich, but I didn't really speak about other types of food that I've been eating recently, but I did go to one of those Kura sushis that I know Adam Koralik likes. It's the place where if you order 5 sushi type dishes, you get to put those plates back into this sort of capsule toy machine type of thing, and yeah, like after 5 it triggers whether or not you win a capsule toy. For my 5th plate I actually ordered a cake, and it was a congratulations chocolate cake, and I didn't expect that it was going to come around the whole restaurant with music, big song and dance, so very much embarrassed myself. I'm sat there alone and got this plate of food on a train, letting everyone know congratulations omedetou for some reason. But it was nice. Didn't win a capsule toy, of course. Very tricky to to win one of them, they want you to keep eating, and obviously I was quite full after 4 plates, so no Hatsure, I think it's called, like the tomato convenience raffle would say on the ticket. On returning back to the station to head home, I noticed there was a shop set up that was selling dango, which I really like. My wife doesn't, but yeah, it's nice. It's kind of like the, like the mochi rice balls, only this has quite a sweet flavour to it, kind of like a chewy marshmallow, I'd say. And the soy sauce that they use is like a sweet soy sauce, and it's kind of like caramel tasting, I feel like. Very, very tasty in my opinion. Definitely try dango if you haven't. And then finally, guys, you may have seen a little bit of footage of the Anpanman Museum, the show. In fact, the whole place was Christmas themed, and this, bearing in mind, was like 2 or 3 days after Halloween, so to me that felt really early to be doing Christmas songs, celebrating Christmas. I know it seems to be earlier and earlier every year, and like in England, where you can buy ornaments and like some of the stores have Christmas stuff in, but to see an actual completely themed interior for something that's, I guess, going to be like that until after Christmas now. So that's going to be like until the 25th of December. They're going to be playing Christmas music, Christmas theming. It seemed way early to me to be doing that stuff. And in all the shops currently is Christmas music. So it's going to drive us insane over the next 8 weeks. 8 weeks of Christmas music. And I'm not sure, but I feel like Japanese people don't really celebrate Christmas, so obviously they enjoy the holiday and the merchandising surrounding Christmas, but actually on the day, it's not like Santa's come and, all the kids get loads of presents as far as I'm aware. Again, let me know in the comments if I'm wrong on that, but that's what I was led to believe prior. But yeah, so that's it for today. Turned into a bit of a long one in the end. Quite like Machida. Definitely check it out if you've not been there. Maybe don't put it on like your must-see places, but if you've never been before and you're interested, it's a decent place to check out. Next vlog, guys, is going to be a very special one. Me and Switch went to Kamakura to try and replicate some of the Shenmue 3 Kickstarter backer photographs that Yu Suzuki took with the gang that went for the Kickstarter dinners. So we went to the places that they went to sort of replicate those photographs and just check them out. I've never been before, and to see if anything's changed, I suppose, and yeah, just sort of get some of the vibes that the Kickstarter backers would have got. So if that interests you, if you're a Shenmue fan that watching my content because you're a Shenmue fan, then next vlog should be a good one. So subscribe, like and comment for me, guys, and I'll see you on the next Gym in Japan. Peace, take care.